and welcome to Awaken Your Human Design. My name is Moni. This is Danny, and today we have an exciting show for you guys. We are going to be talking about the love gates in human design, and it's something I always kind of heard a little bit about and I read a little bit about, but I never really did a deep dive. So I'm really excited about
It's
this.
a nice round number until you count gate 10 twice, then it's 11. And 11 in numerology is what? There's something special about the
I
number.
think 11 is supposed to be a good number, I think, in numerology. I think it's like a
Mm,
lucky one.
it's a prime number, that's for sure.
Well, thank goodness for that. If you are interested in booking a human design reading with either Danny or myself, check out the QR code above me, or I have the link down in the description box below. You can use code AWAKEN to save 10%. So if you want to learn a whole bunch about yourself, you want to learn about your friends, your family, you want to get into it, you want to have some fun together, we would love to read for you. Also, if you've been getting a whole lot out of our channel, you'd like to help encourage us and support us, we have a donation link up above. I also have that down in the description box. And thank you so much for anything you'd share. And as always, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, thank you for asking questions, commenting. We love having you. We love hanging out with you and sharing our love of human design with you. So I'm really excited to get into these love gates.
Let's do it.
So, we're starting off with this idea of connectivity, and this is the different ways that human beings and their geometry align to each other. This is the different ways we interact with each other, these different levels of connectivity. We have a word to describe all those various connections. We call it love.
Mm. So, this whole connectivity thing, as we start to go through it, is going to show the various ways in which the body graph can be looked at just real simply to understand a particular aspect of what's about to happen. What's going to be between I love calling it this way. Rock called it this way, and I never forgot it. The beast with two backs. I've always liked that description. And these are four basic ways, right? We're doing the four basic ways of this connectivity. That's what's coming up, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Yeah, we're
Yep.
going to be talking about all the different ways that we connect and like find love with one another.
Yep. And these are things you look into your chart, and when you put it together with your partner's chart, you see these connections, and you'll now have this like awareness of what's going on. We did it last week as well, this particular stuff in depth.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is going to be like a deeper level because, yeah, last week we went through relationships in human design. So check out that video after you're done watching this one. Continuing on into the illusion of separateness. This is the most magical aspect of being human. This is where all the suffering is. It's magical because we're not actually separate. It's the incredible illusion of separateness. And so the identity or the G center is the home of the magnetic monopole. The magnetic monopole being this like one way magnet inside each and every one of us that's pulling all the cool things in our lives towards us. And this is the last great mystery to be discovered. This is literally what holds us together in the illusion of our separateness. So Ra explains in the beginning, the design crystal and the magnetic monopole are bound together at conception, and then they separate in development. So love is this idea of this wholeness and seeking this wholeness of this union of the design crystal and the magnetic monopole.
It's just so adorable because once they separate, we get to have within the illusion the aspects that we live out through this lifetime that are our appearance of disconnectedness. And we reach back into it through this act of love. And when we love ourselves, of course, clearly, we start to see the wholeness of it all. It is all ends up being one. It's all just literally emergent. This is all of our emergent behavior. And the monopole, while it's not one of the gates of love, gate two is where that home of this monopole is. It is the very force that, starting with even before Albert Einstein, but Einstein himself recognized as love, this force that only attracts and it doesn't repel. So it doesn't matter which way you point this monopole, it will be attracted to the next monopole. It won't repel it. And this is this constant pulling sound, this sucking sound that's always pulling us together. Why can't we all just be separate? You notice it doesn't work. You can't live under a rock. We're always being pulled together. That pulling is the act of the monopole, and the monopole is the work that gets done through the nodes, the north and south node of your body graph on both sides, design and personality. And it is just, it's almost, it's mystical when you read it that there is a direction for you, not one of the gates of love, but the total action of that which holds us together so that we can experience the beast with two backs, you know.
And just I love like and to totally simplify, it's like love is the glue that holds us together. Love will keep us together. It's every song written basically that
We've
involves
been, yeah,
love. It's going to hold us together in the times of strife and sadness. You go back to loving and we have that glue so that there is like love. It can like oh, I love you. Like it can
Moni,
be
it's so
so
good.
casual, but it's actually this like love is this powerful force that is literally holding us together so we don't just destroy one another. Like it's in our programming, it is in the algorithm, some kind of code written in to literally glue us together.
It's just amazing when you think about it because this wholeness, this love that becomes this wholeness, this glue that holds us together is the act of separating in the first place.
Well, it's because like we once knew that wholeness inside each
Hmm.
and every one of us at conception. We had the design
We're
crystal
so
and the
smart.
monopole together, right? We had that experience. And then as it drifted, as this like probably first foundational experience like in our life. And so yearning for that wholeness that once held us together, which won't actually happen until we die. So throughout our lives, we're like seeking that
We're
wholeness to
clever.
find union with the other as
Yep.
like a makeshift until we actually are brought back together with the design crystal and the monopole once we pass. Like,
I love pointing out how clever we really are. All the songs, all the poetry, all the ends of the movies, all the this, all the that, all the hopes and dreams that we lump onto all the fifth lines and that we have within ourselves. We're very clever. We're so smart. We've been saying it all along. Love, love may do, you know, all you need is love. It's like we've been saying it the whole time. So I now would like to concur. We're right. We're very clever. We've been saying it the whole time.
continuing on, the structure of love. Anywhere these gates of love in partnership connectivity, this is where you have these very powerful themes of love or the assumption of love emerges. You'll see what doesn't belong to you. The themes of love that are not activated in your chart, right? These 10 gates are the ones that drive you crazy. These are the ones you think you should have, you think belong to you. And when somebody else brings them to you, you think you found love.
Mm. And when you give of yours, the gates that you have within it, that's what you feel you're giving. Don't understand why the your partner doesn't understand that. That's a again another competent place to really help people understand, oh, that's their expression. And then they start to see, oh, it really is part of their expression. Maybe I should go ahead and appreciate that because it's consistent.
It'll be interesting. I feel like we could even get into like, what's your love language? Is it like acts of service? Is it words of affirmation? I think maybe we should keep that in mind as we're going to go through these 10 gates and maybe where those pop in for people. Either they have them or maybe they have the other side of it. So then it means something to them. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and on the occasional chart that has not one gate in any of this, we should deal with that, right?
Oh,
There will be an occasional chart that has not one of these gates. It's just simply by the numbers. Those folks are open to the experience of all of it. They get to pick and choose the love language that most suits them. Much of it would have been conditioned in family life, the love language that will probably feel most suitable to them, either conditioned in as to what to avoid or as to what to accept, one or the other. But, you know, so yeah. And then that would be a slightly different conversation, yet the same conversation.
this is so cool. I'm so excited. God, we're such nerds.
Hmm. Got to count for those, like same with the reflectors. We always forget to mention, you know.
Yeah, no, I love that you mentioned it.
Mhm.
So, continuing on, the mechanics of loving more. Excuse me. One person always loves the other partner more. Why don't you love me as much as I love you? For example, if you have a gate of love, if you have one of these 10 gates of loves in an open center, it you need somebody else who brings that electromagnetic. So let's say you have the gate, but it's like the center is white and undefined. So you're going to need someone else to bring the energy to activate it so you can feel that love. On the contrast, if you have a gate of love in a defined center, the theme is always there. So the person who has it like in an undefined center will love the other person more because they need that other person to bring that energy. If you're correct, where you will find love is correct for you. When you're correct, living out your personal strategy and authority, you'll see resonances to the themes of love that are correct for you. Slowly, you can decondition from thinking all the themes of love you don't have or what you deserve or what you need because it's not true. The moment you see love for what it is, you can really be with someone.
And you can be yourself. This is how I produce my love for you. And you, if you're going to have a wedding vow, you should probably have in that vow the ways that you are, so that when you love, honor, accept, and cherish, and all the good stuff that you say till death do you part, that's included in there in full awareness and happiness that both parties are seeing it within the other. Then they can just accept them the way they are and get about the business of like doing what we did when we were kids. It's like being happy about stuff far more than not.
Absolutely. Mosey?
Hmm. Mosey.
So we're going to start off with the anti-mundane gates of love. I also call these the transcendent gates of love because anti-mundane is kind of like a clunky term. But
Yeah.
basically, these
Ra
transcendent.
used that. He used that term, didn't he? He
Oh
used
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I remember him saying anti-mundane. Yeah.
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 I mean, for context, all the information that I pulled for this presentation is all in the Love Book, which is one of the classes by Ra Uruhu. So it's all pulled from that. But yeah, these anti-mundane gates of love, transcendent gates of love, these are the vessel of love gates, and they're deeply rooted in the monopole. This is the potential for transcendent love, and it's rarely felt as strongly as personal love. This is finding love through somebody and love itself, not necessarily in the person, but through them.
And that's just such an interesting concept because that through them implies that they're not necessarily needed to have it because you're going right through them. Well, that's what the other experience is with these. As we get into the gates and we keep talking about them, we'll keep finding that the other experience is the anti-mundane gates as not quite that passionate or fiery or
They're
I,
colder.
I a little cooler. I can't tell. I can't tell that you'll move heaven and earth for me until heaven and earth needs to be moved, and then the extremes, and then this and the that, and the behavior and the universal, which we'll get into, they'll kick in just fine and move heaven and earth. It's just you can't tell. It sees right through, and that seeing through is to see, hey, on the other side, there's this anti-mundane universal type of love that is greater than both of us, and so we can look at that too and just recognize how awesome we are within all of that. This is the transcendent anti-mundane love, is the love that easily says, don't worry, it'll be fine. Don't worry. No, honey, I love you to death. This is awesome. Even just hearing myself say that, I still don't hear all the passion of, it's like,
I love you,
the,
believe me, it's true.
right. The other party can be like, are you trying to convince yourself? Well, I mean, it could look like that a little bit, or you trying to convince me, or
Yeah,
it
it's
could be
not
take,
fiery love. It's more of this like it's a zoom out love instead of a zoom in love. Like
yeah,
the
sort of,
mundane
yeah.
personal gates or love are like zoom in, and these anti-mundane or transcendent gates, it's like a zoomed out love of like the love of the universe and the love of humanity. Like it's
And the
so
love of
big it
all
can't be
things, and
warm and personal because it's so big.
yeah, right. And it is big. And the thing is, be very grateful as you run into these because it is so big. Guess what it does? It encompasses you just fully every single time, by the way. If you want to talk about consistency, these gates are consistent and they don't really come with a bargain attached and they don't really come with much of a demand and they aren't really contrived very much. I'm a vessel of love. Moni is a vessel of love. My son is in my gate 10. My big demand is that if you don't love me as much as I love me, in the way that I am, I've got a problem. So that's about as personal as it's going to get. The rest of the time, it's encompassing everything, and along with you, the partner of this gate, of the person with this gate. So I like it when both people have at least some skin in the game, some anti-mundane love gate in the game, so they can both sort of see this in action.
Yeah, I also love that I just realized that we have two vessels of love doing a whole presentation on love.
Right. That's
What
freaking funny.
what a perfect exploration for us.
It is perfect. I'm feeling in rare form to talk about this tonight, I have to tell you.
I know I feel like an extra little like bubble. I feel a little extra spring in my step. So let's go
We got
into it.
we got knowledge to give to people tonight, Moni. They can count. This is textbook stuff we're gonna do.
I mean, literally, I pulled it from a textbook.
No, but I mean what we're gonna say is greater textbook stuff. You could quote it and
Oh,
clip it and put it in your new textbooks. So
perfect. So continuing on. So the vessel of love. This is about a way of searching for a greater love is by being naturally loving, but it doesn't mean they love you. It doesn't mean that they don't love you. It just means that they're loving. They can be very nice to have around, but it doesn't mean that it's personal. So we already talking about this on the last slide, but this idea that like the vessel of love gates are kind of colder. It's that zoomed out love. It's not the zoomed in, lovey, passionate, fiery, warm love. It's a little bit zoomed out, and so people can kind of get lost thinking that we are in love with them when it's just like, no, we're just loving, but it's not personal.
yeah, and it's that whole, but it's not personal that we were alluding to on the last slide. It can be quasi-personal, and it does get a little, it gets personal from time to time, moments of it,
Especially gate
inside of
10.
life. Huh?
Gate 10 overlaps as like a personal and
Oh, for
impersonal.
sure. For sure. But various aspects of this can get a little bit personal, but don't count on it staying there. Just don't, that's the rest of the experience of the entire body graph with all the other gates involved, loving that they're there and doing the thing or whatever, but it's, don't get used to it like staying on fire. 46 can get on fire sometimes, right? Pushing upwards, sticking in that experience. 25 can be on fire at times. All of them can be. 15 can totally be on fire. It's time to march in the streets and boy, do I love you. Um, or something extreme or not.
But it's like a short burned flame
It's a
and then
burn,
it's
it's a short burn, and then it's back to its all-encompassing nature that, please believe, encompasses you too. And the gate we're about to start with, gate 25, I believe, right, Moni? That's,
yeah.
if ever we're going to see this full encompassment activity, we're going to see it here in gate 25. It's big, big. We're
Hmm.
starting where it's nice and big. It's as big as it gets.
So
Do
on
you agree with that, Moni? 25, as it relates to the all-encompassing nature, I get to call it, I think it's as big as it gets.
I think that's a fair statement. I mean, yeah, it's the universal love of all things, so that makes sense. So, gate 25, a place for loving. It's not about loving the universe, it's about being loving in the universe, having a place to be loving toward what everything is, but it isn't personal. They're very loving, but they don't love you. Their quality of loving is that everything deserves to be treated that way.
Yeah, the perfection of action through an uncontrived and spontaneous nature. The perfection of the uncontrived and spontaneous nature. This gate is called the gate of innocence. um, and the gate of the spirit of the actual self. That's what we named it, but the I Ching named it innocence. And in that innocence, there is an uncontrived, perfected form. The baby is not thinking that it just pooped its diapers. It simply, in an uncontrived manner, pooped its diapers. Oh, I mean, adults don't go around doing that in an uncontrived way. We close doors and da da da. Well, pick something incredible. Anyways, a fully uncontrived is, I love my rock. I love my pet rock. I love you. I love being here. I love this whole thing. I love being loving to all of the things. Let's love this space. Let's love where we're at. This is a primary gate of a part of what is the love of your location, which the Sphinx and the vessel together make the home of identity, the place of finding that direction and knowing your place and knowing who you are. This is the beginning of us getting to know who we are because it's the very first thing that lights up upon conception. Gate 51 and gate 25 come together, and that all spark that is the eye of the storm, as Moni was saying earlier off air, the eye of the storm sparks the whole thing going, and then the rest of the body can be made through the channel of initiation. And 25 is this, it's the priest, it's the all spirit. And you are very anti-mundanely included in the all spirit. When I say you, I'm talking about the partner of gate 25. And it is a deep, abiding love. Ask it to stay. Just don't ask anything of it. Allow it. Just allow this to be in the other, and then it will go ahead and be it in an uncontrived, spontaneous, loving nature, because that's all it really wants to do. So if you can't get that thing to focus on you and you think suddenly you want to, you don't. This thing doesn't focus, right? It's not there to focus. Maybe it'll be focused at a moment in time, but it's not there to focus specifically. It's there to float amongst the universe, loving the whole dang thing. There's a speck of dust. I want to love it too. We have it everywhere, by the way. People that will love the leaf that just fell off the tree and the squirrel that just ran by and blah, 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 blah. Squirrels are a little bit filthy, but we
We
still
love
love
them
them.
anyway.
We love them anyways. It's this universal thing.
I love that you brought up, I love that you brought up the aspect of 25 of like you can't expect it to be loving. It just let it be loving broadly. And so
Hmm.
there's even a quote in the book where Ross says, when loving stops being loving, it is the coldest, most frightening thing you'll ever meet. Just like the vast universe that it loves. This is a deep, deep, dark, cold place. And the moment that anybody tries to turn my 25 loving into something personal, they know how cold I get. It has nothing to do with the decision. It has nothing to do with me thinking that. This is my natural response of my 25 moving out of a defined center, part of my single definition. It's everything that I am, and it affects everything that I am. It's the thing to be clear about the vessel. If you try to make their love personal, you get a horror movie in return. All of that loving seems like something ugly, phony, and unreal because it's not mundane. Um,
Mm. Yeah, we want mundane because mundane is where we live day to day. But we need anti-mundane. We need this transcendent love because it's the carrot in front of the horse that keeps the horse moving in the direction. It's that it's that non-mirage ahead in the desert. There actually is an oasis and there's water in it. That's what this anti-mundane stuff is. It's the shiny city on the hill that you never really get to per se, but you get on your way there. And sometimes you can visit, but the visit of the partner to this gate, to this vessel energy, this anti-mundane transcendent love, the partner of this person has to recognize that what pours into them is so real that, like a neutrino, it pours right through them into what's ever behind them and on and into the yonder beyond.
I like this idea of one, love being the glue that holds everything together, and then this idea of these like personal, these mundane, the personal mundane gates or the anti-mundane, like transcendent gates. It's like again this like outer love, inner love, big love, little love, and it's like these two different glues. We need glue to hold the outside of everything together, and we need a glue to hold the inside of everything together, like an egg. It's like an
Yeah.
eggshell. The outer eggshell is all like hard and solid, and then the inside's where all the gooey stuff. So it's like you have the
Hmm.
personal love, the mundane love, which is like, the egg yolk and the white, and there's that glue holding that stuff together. And then you have the shell on the outside, which is like the transcendent,
Notice you
anti-mundane
don't enjoy
love.
the shell. You throw the shell out or crush it up for meal for your plants and stuff.
Yeah, you want the good stuff, you want the good gooey stuff in the middle, but the
Right.
eggshell on the outside is like hard and
Holds it
crackly, and you
all
don't.
together. Yeah, that's a great analogy. It holds it all together. This holds it all together, guys. Without it, our mundane stuff would fly off the handle with more demand than is really true, with more condition to be placed on it that has nothing to do with me or you. This anti mundane stuff keeps that at bay.
That's dope. All right, ready, Mosey?
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
This is great. I'm loving this episode so much. So, excuse me.
that
On
was
to
dope. That was pretty good. We had a good 25 there. Thanks for the 25ness, Moni.
Thank you. So, on to gate 15, loving humanity. It's about initiating love transpersonally, initiating loving, and loving being human, organizing humanity so they won't kill each other, transpersonally caring about humanity. It doesn't mean that they care about you specifically. This is about like a tolerance so humans can get along. loving so long as you're operating correctly, according to their collective vision of how human beings are supposed to get along.
All of this will funnel into when we get to gate 10 behavior. I'm hoping that's saved for last. Um, and
It
when
is.
we get into that, we'll see. But the behavior here and the activity that's going on is wicked transcendent because it's there to take extreme stuff. I, when we read the gate, I pointed this out and I'll point it out again. The ancient Chinese I Ching text called this gate modesty, modesty. And we call it the gate of extremes. And those two things seem like they're opposites. They're not.
It's a
And it's
seesaw.
this, yeah, it's this quality of behavior that expresses a decent objective objective stance as it balances the extremes of humanity. It's the love of humanity, encompassing of all her extremes. There is, and we're in a world of Maya filled with humanity. There's over 8 billion of us. We have to have this. It allows for anything that is even crazy looking to be brought in and made a little bit modest so that it can fit into the flow. 15 and 5 make up the channel of rhythm. It's an incredibly important tantric channel. It's also part of the penta. It's there to serve the environment as it's all kept together. And it's also there to serve in every single cell in every body and every blade of grass everywhere, that channel. So 15 is the extreme nature of that. And it's there and designed to say, I love you, my partner standing in front of me, but I love right through you. And the guy that you're mad at, I'm not as mad at. I still love him. This is Jesus's language, quite literally brought transcendently forward. And that forwardness is, the whole people in glass houses, let them, people with
Don't throw
no sin.
stones.
What is it?
People, you,
Let ye
you,
who is without sin cast the first stone.
yeah, and people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Right. So that he who was without sin, that's the thing. And since it's in the parable, it's really saying, let he who is not human try to say they're better than somebody who is human in any kind of way, and there is nobody who is not human. We're all human, we're all 8 billion of us, we're all the same in
Yeah,
that
we all
way.
mess up.
And so we don't get to cast a stone when you're at gate 15. When you're at gate 15, the underdog is your friend and you don't want them beat up. When you're at gate 15, the extremes of the world bring out the hate. Don't forget this whole anti-mundane. It is so powerful that it can flip into hate. There
The
is
vessel of love can be a vessel of hate. Absolutely.
absolutely. And and it's not like that energy isn't truthfully needed as part of the experience. There's things we can't allow. They're too extreme. They will not be made modest. They'll be hated and destroyed potentially. We're on
You
a
can't
mundane
take
plane.
another person's life. You
Yeah,
can't hurt kids. Like
you
where
just
that will not
right.
be accepted no matter how much some
I hate you for
extreme
picking on
psychopath.
that kid. Yeah, I hate you for picking on that kid till he cries over and over again. I can't take it anymore. You can't do it. That kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then you're friends again. It doesn't want to, it's not a gate of sustained hatred, although it could be, depending on what's going on. But
But it's
it's
almost like
true.
slamming a door or like a line in the sand kind of thing.
Right. So if something that's going on in a partner and they can't seem to get on board with being as mad as you are towards somebody, recognize that's in their nature.
Hmm.
That's in there. They're seeing through yours. Yours is a personal anger or thing or a beef or whatever. Same thing with the love of things. You can't expect a gate 15 to love the humanity of your aunt the way you might love the humanity of your aunt. They'll get along. That's not the point. They're seeing through your aunt too. And it might be too much work for this guy. He might not want to yet. And so he just gives them the transcendent love that sees even through that. They're not quite sure, but this can get hot. The humanity includes the partner of this gate. So it can be part of this place that gets shared. It's also in the collective circuitry. It is a design of being shared. So, anyways, that's gate 15. It sees right through the capacity of people to want to condemn the other. And it sees through that and it will argue that. And it's supposed to do that. And then it won't necessarily get too crazy about it one way or another. Don't expect to heat up gate 15 into something that is your cause. That could happen, but it's really not That's not what gate 15 is there for.
It's not for your specific stuff, it's for bigger, broader, out there stuff.
It might align to it one day through its strategy and authority, and suddenly you're aligned to something. Gate 15 can be extreme. That I said it right at the beginning. I was like, marching on Washington to get to address government for redress of grievances. That's it can be extreme. That's gate 15 for you.
Hmm. And going off of what you said earlier, like this is Jesus language. So, fun fact about Jesus, if you look at global cycles, like we're currently in the cross of planning, and in 2027, we're moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So, when Jesus was alive, it was actually the vessel of love.
No kidding.
Yeah, right?
Oh, that makes such good sense. That's right, it was.
Like,
That's right, it was. These times, these arcs of time. I forgot how long is each Godhead in years. Is there years for Godheads? I forget. They're like an
it,
era.
I don't know. Let's talk about that after.
All right.
It's like that'll be
Um,
some future math nerdery. But so gate 15 extremes, loving the big all of humanity, the big eggshell that's holding the stuff
Including all
together.
the crazy stuff and the weird stuff and the bum on the side of the street that you can't quite condemn, but sometimes you will if they freaking took your money and then went into the package store and got booze instead of
And
buying a slice of pizza like they informed me they were hungry. I've had that
and
happen.
then and then also finding a shelter for that person.
I've had that happen, and I was
No,
so
no,
happy. Go ahead.
no,
I
I
was
know.
so
I'm just
pissed
saying
when he
like
took my money and walked straight in the package store. Then got pissed at him.
I mean, that would happen. But the point being, right, it's like this extremes of loving humanity. And like, yeah, you can get mad at the homeless guy who just like took your money for whatever nefarious stuff. But then it's also the eggshell of holding humanity together. Like, cool, let's take you to a shelter.
Right.
Like
Suddenly, that guy
finding a
needs a
place
shelter,
for
and you're
that
gonna
person to
forget.
belong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that idea though, so it's like even if it's something, people who want to do weird things in clubs at night, it's like cool, you can do that at like an adults only place, like keep it away from the kids kind of things.
Right.
Like there's some extreme behavior, all right, then it has its specific place to do it in. Like it's that idea, finding a place for all these different types of extremes. And then when something is too extreme, it's like cool, like then that's not, we're not okay with that.
Right. Right. It's all still based on the whole entire experience of humanity. You add gate 50 values in on a tribal defense circuit, and certain things are going to be too extreme. I'm sorry. You know, and a bunch of other gates, by the way. 49 will have something to say about 32, definitely has something to say about that. Get that extreme crap the hell out of here. Anyway, so it has its place, and don't expect it to stay mad at the other guy. Maybe it comes in and I was pissed at a thing, but the next time you see him, you can't hold it. It's not meant to be held. I remember I saw that guy again and I just like, I can't. I can't. I loved him so much I told him. I was like, no, you went straight into the pack. I can't do it. Come on, man. I just kept walking.
So, any other final thoughts on gate 15?
Nope.
All right, perfect. So, moseying on to gate 46, loving the body. The body is a temple. This is an extraordinary environment that we all have, that we've all been given this amazing vehicle. This is the mother of all fears, and it has a similar relative chemistry to the spleen. The deepest fears in our body are all expressed through the body in gate 46. We transcend fear by accepting the beauty of our vehicle, by accepting its perfection, reorganizing the beauty of everyone's form, the beauty of each body as a unique vessel, and accepting the perfection of your limitation. This is also the home of serendipity, that in this body being in the right place at the right time.
This is the gate inside the vessel of love that ensures we live in the experience in the moment. The I Ching called this gate pushing upwards. We ended up also naming that, Ra, and ended up naming that the determination of the self. And that word gets misunderstood. It is an aspect of being determination, like I'm determined to move this mountain to have this experience. But it also is the way the experiences then redetermine you or determine you, just like determination in our dietary regimen, for instance. It determines what is next and what is learned and what was what. And it's a universal aspect of I love being in my body in the experience being determined, being determined in the moment to live through the yes of gate 29 right below it. You heard me 50, 30, 20.
I heard you Rolodexing through it. Yeah, you
Yeah, yeah,
found
yeah.
it.
It was funny. It's funny. I skipped the 40. Um, but when you connect it to gate 29, another tantric channel, these three channels between the sacral and the G center are tantric, and they're tantric channels. They bring our kundalini up into our identity from our root chakra. It's the kundalini of humanity is not the same root business it once was. And this vital, vital life force energy is there to empower and push the vessel of love into a direction which the Sphinx picks up and actually takes care of that movement. Um, and 46 is I'm determined to be in my body because gate 29 gave me the sacral fuel and empowerment to say yes to this experience. It is strictly experiential. It wants to be in the moment. Its job is never to contemplate in the moment what the moment means. It's to wait till all the moments have concluded and the experience is all wrung out to then reflect backwards. That's its job, to create that which reflects backwards. It takes it up to gate 13 right above it, and that becomes the prodigal. This 46 holds a wicked important spot, the universal love of myself and my body. And it's not that it's supposed to be the universal love of the body or just the love of the body, you could say. But so many people mistake that for I have to love how my body looks. And they forget all the other thousand times throughout that day that they loved something and they can't love something if they're not in a body seeing it, touching it, and loving it.
Because you can't
No,
experience it
you
without the
can't
sensory
experience it.
experience of being in a body. How can you
Right,
smell a
right.
flower if you don't have a nose?
I don't like my body, someone might say, because of a superficial, mundane thing on appearance wise. And then they're eating their favorite cookie and it makes them feel so good. And they can't love that moment with a glass of milk, which is so wholesomely awesome. You did it when you were a kid. You can't even love that moment. Well, actually, you do love that moment. You can't help but to love that moment. And that's the moment you recognize, oh, I do love being in the experience. I just have to allow my strategy and authority to bring me to the experiences that I love. And this love is so magnetic and so pull innery that it got, I love these words we get to make up, that this is the pulling in of that which is going to bring you out. This is the pulling in of what brings you and your body out into the world to say the stuff sooner or later, to be part of the entire experience that did just take place, and to love the fact that you could have even been there in the first place. This is so exalted that it brings the act of serendipity. It brings the tether of the serendipitous behavior you had all along. It's that determination and the love of that in the moment in the first place is the thing that makes it so that over time the dedications and efforts that went before in your life, whatever they were, always keep ending up to a serendipity. And you will miss it if you are not yourself. If you haven't gotten into your experiment, you're not going to necessarily know how this works. It can seem elusive, and these gates can seem transcendently elusive. And when you start to see that you do love being in your body, like almost all the time, except maybe when you look in a mirror, you know what I mean, or thinking that particular, I'm serious. It's like literally we put so much stuff on that mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, to try to cast some spells and make me feel bad, you
Well,
know.
and the thing is, also remember when you look at a mirror, you're not actually looking at yourself. It is a flip version of yourself. So don't get caught staring at yourself in the mirror and thinking bad things because it's literally not what you look like. It is literally a doppelganger. So don't get caught in that. Check out True Mirror. Those are
Yeah,
fantastic. TrueMirror.com. I highly recommend them. It's
yeah.
an actual mirror that you can see what you look like to other people and is actually a very transformative experience.
Oh, I would love
Also,
to see one of those.
well, come visit me. I have one. So also in super fun serendipity, Coco is here. They said, interesting point. Everything is growing and sprouting, and it's hilarious because it was exactly at the same time. I was like, oh, when Danny finishes, I'm gonna say it's like a sprout pushing upward through the soil. And so we
Totally.
had a little serendipity right there, and we have a little sprout.
See, it's amazing. Hey, Coco, I'm so glad. So it's I've said enough. The pushing upward of the soul in the body and the self. It's such a this gate moves the mountains. This
It
gate is says yes to the movement of the mountain when there ain't no mountain high enough to keep me away from whatever it is I'm moving towards in an experiment, in an experience that can very much be a piece of heat for someone else. That can be the experience. Just don't plan on it staying there. Don't plan on that being like, oh, it's only this and it's for me only. Because when this person goes out and you think that they love someone else a little bit too because they're having fun, that can create jealousy and stuff like that. This ain't for that. If they're committed to you, you should trust that. And if it's not trustworthy, there's something wrong.
Yeah, and that's a whole different conversation, but don't be mad at your gate 46s for
No,
just being loving of the body and the experience of all of us being alive in bodies that get to experience things and smell flowers and get massages and get our hair done and taste fun stuff.
I've got even a simpler one for you. I love my experience so much, so often in the little things that I'm doing that I find myself bouncing my head
Oh
because
yeah, I
I just
wiggle.
thought of something. And then suddenly I realized I couldn't even have this awesome feeling because I just thought of the coolest thing and I'm about to call someone, and none of that can happen without my pushing upward of myself towards it. It's a
Mm.
true pushing upward into the kingdom of heaven, technically. Anyway,
Mosey?
Mosey.
So honored to gate 10, loving being alive. So gate 10 is one of the special ones, right? It is an anti-mundane gate and it is a mundane gate. So we're going to talk about it first in this like anti-mundane transcendent way, and then we're going to hit it up again in a couple of slides in the personal way. So out of the 10th gate, the vessel pours what it holds, the spirit of life. This is our deepest individual, melancholic, self absorbed aspect of ourselves. We're absorbed in ourselves through our behavior. It's the only gate that is both transcendent and mundane. It's about being in the world, loving being alive in the world, loving, living, and dying in the world, being alive in the world, sentient and conscious, loving the world as it is, surrendering to the precariousness of life. To accept the world is to accept the truth. We do not control it, it is not our world to play with. We are of it. Life is holy. This is the movie.
Did Ross say all that?
This is all
Pretty
in the
much.
book. Yeah, this
Yep.
is all raw
Man,
in the love
yeah.
book.
I love his stark nature of putting stuff out there. You know what I mean? It's like it's
So
quite to the
powerful.
point.
That
Yeah.
that impactful manifester and the what is he, a clarion?
Clarion, he was the cross of the Clarion. 5-1.
Yeah.
51 was in his son.
It sure was shocking.
51 line 5. It's
It's
in his
shocking.
personality son. So gate 10, this is the love of ourself. And it sort of is part of what gate, because it's part of the individual centering circuit. It can never be removed from gate 25 across the G center from it. And so gate 10 and gate 25, the universal love of all things, and then gate 10's love of itself. This is the gate of the love of the self. It's called treading, but our behavior of ourself is this capacity of ourself. If our behavior is no good, we can't tell that we love ourselves. If our behavior isn't right, we won't survive. The act of always surviving day to day, and it's one of the acts that we give ourselves as like a universal aspect of how we love ourselves. It's this capacity to look into the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself and not feel like you're faking it or there's some kind of imposter syndrome going on. It's this capacity that we know of ourselves to, we want to stay alive. This is our capacity to want to just totally stay alive and for some form of a purpose. We feel like we're always trying to get this universal love inside of ourselves out and we want it shared with the world. But when it's then with the other person, this is why this gate has two different forms, the mundane and the anti mundane, what we call the transcendent. And in its transcendent way, I don't know if we're doing both of these in the same slide, Moni, but in its transcendent way, it's I love myself so much that I almost feel complete. In its mundane way, It's I love myself when I love you. And even that, in its anti mundane sense, will still become transcendently universal if you expect it to love only you. It cannot. It's got three other gates. It's got a universality. It's got a love of all of humanity. It's got a love of its experience. Not all experiences will be with you, the partner. So, even in its mundane sense, that will feel like, oh, he loves me or she loves me. Yes, yes, he or she does. Gate 10 does love you very much. And it loves through you, just like Moni was saying in the beginning. So, to have a love of self is creates the correct behavior, and the correct behavior strikes the balance of survival as your own creative unique self, centered and looking inward, as well as pouring outward into the world and looking outward, always right in the now. Right, this is part of the channel of awakening. It is here to take the power and awaken it now with the awareness of 57 that says, I know I am awakening now as myself with power. And I love that. It's got I embedded. If ever there was a gate that has I embedded in this, well, the individual gates sort of all have I, but this one is, it's got a lot of I in here. I
Got some
this,
extra
I that,
eye.
a little extra, capital I. Yeah, yeah. I love you, but I love me more. Yeah, that would be an aspect of both its mundane and
Transcendent.
transpersonal, yeah, transcendent nature.
Yeah, we're gonna hit the transcendent one more of a deep dive in like 2 slides, so we'll be able to like touch back on it.
Oh, I did the I sort of talked about both.
I know. It's perfect. You gave a little preview and then we'll go into it. So, ready to mosey since we're going to talk
Mhm.
about 10 again anyway? So continuing on, so we finished up our we finished up our transcendent anti-mundane gates of love. So now we're going to dive into the mundane gates of love, the personal gates of love. This is looking for love with somebody, a demand for personal connectivity. This is our illusion of love, our illusions of personal love, finding love through these themes with the other.
So when you think about this mundane stuff, it's there to be shared. It's there to be experienced in some form of a bond. It's all there to be some kind of supportive or empowering of or deeply correctively shared with the other. And it brings fantasy and joy and it brings melancholy and spirit into a relationship. Gate 25 does not bring the spirit of the relationship, period. Gate 25 is the spirit of the self, I, in the same stream, in the same circuitry as gate 10. But these mundane gates, um, they bring this basically the empowerment to want to share some supportive nature that feels like I'm personally connected with you. So let's be personally connected. This is a lot of arguments will happen here. The
Because
breakups
it's
will
personal.
happen. Yeah, the breakups and the crashing downs will happen through the anti-mundane gates, but the arguments and the things that could break down stuff will happen through these gates.
Mm,
But the thing that says I want a divorce, you're too cold, happens at the vessel level.
yeah. Wowzers. Ready to
Yeah.
mosey?
Yep.
So now we're hitting up gate 10 again, this time through this personal lens. And this is self love through others. Mundane love is never easy because it's personal. Personal brings all kinds of demands. The potential is to love yourself and love being in the world, loving that person who is in the world, waiting to be able to discover the love of ourselves through the other, about being loved. This is love is about being loved. This is the beautiful possibility of loving yourself. It's all beauty everywhere. You just have to be able to see it. You have to see your own beauty. You are love.
So this is like where you feel so juicy, can't wait for that other person. This is where we get the statement of, I can't tell if I love him, I just love the way he makes me feel or she makes me feel. You know what I mean? And it's like, so it can blind us to whatever else is there because gate 10 will serve both functions. And at some point, the partner will be like, "Hey, what happened?" Well, just so I guess nothing. Nothing happened. We just moved into this universal version of it rather than in the one that loves you. But this does love loving the other, especially, between here and, gate 55. This is where the sweaty palms are. This is where the first kiss makes the whole thing work or not type thing or whatever. This is where so much of that feeling of I love now what's happening with me, because when gate 10, out of its transcendent nature into its mundane nature, still drags the rest of the vessel along with it. Love being in my body. I feel universal here. I feel like I can do anything. I'm speaking the language of the other gates here. And so that all gets turned inward into that person. You still can't take this particular one quite as personal as the other ones because it can shift. It's serving two functions. Just always be aware of that. The balanced gate 10 will have some of each for his partner or her partner, you know. So that's what gate 10 is here doing. And it still has a bottom line of I love myself. Don't ever expect that to be like, you don't love me enough. You can't say that to this person because they don't if you want them to love you any more than whatever is going on in the moment, because they start with I love myself.
Mm.
Otherwise, they're not healthy. And now you still extra don't have a relationship if you see it and then let it stand so that you get something you think you want. It's a pet cemetery version. You don't want it over
Yeah,
time.
right.
I like that pet cemetery. I use it a lot. That's the pet cemetery version of that, another, AKA the not self version of that.
Yeah, it's a reanimated. It's the doppelganger is often the term I
Yep.
use. Yeah, so I like the Pet Cemetery one is funny.
And
Sometimes dead is better,
yeah, sometimes dead's better. Yeah.
except not when it's a gate of love or it's your human design chart.
Yeah. No, I get it. But the
Any
line
other?
holds.
What's that?
I said, but the line does hold. No, I could just blither on, say the same stuff over. So,
Yeah. So gate 10, it's the one that overlaps on the personal and the transcendent. So just remember that.
and it sees
Moving.
right through you, and it sees right through you with you.
Moving on to gate 44, successful love. This is a love of talent. I love you because we're successful. This is deeply connected to material, money, wealth, etc. The tribe thrives on having financial success. This is an essential element of how the tribe and marriage operate. Who's got the money and how is it going to work? Wealth does improve love. Being rich does not equal automatic love, but it does remove some of the pressure. Looking for a mate equals looking for the future. This is a material appreciation of the relationship. It's in the spleen, so it's about having a healthy kind of love. It's also a fear of the past, a fear of extinction, and successfully moving into the future.
That successful talent that comes here, the successful love, and the fact that it is part of this channel of surrender, it wishes very much to help transmit its message of why we are successful. The gate is it's called coming to meet. That's what the I Ching named it 5,000 years ago. Coming to meet, the wisdom of coming together. We renamed it, additionally named it the gate of alertness. The alertness of that we need to come together. Um,
And the
Usually, like,
alertness and the dangers of coming together.
absolutely.
Sorry.
Well, the alertness to the dangers if we don't come together, the alertness of what dangers are there when we do come together. It's alertness all the way around. And as it is alert and it then is also successful, it is bringing home the bacon. That's the mundane part of it. There's all, this is a tribal gate. All tribal gates are imbued with their spiritual nature. And this is the spirit nature to be a success that can help raise the temples in the tribe to get to God. This is part of that is here. And I use that as an example to raise the spirits of ourselves. So maybe there'll be something even more, the alertness to even look for all of that, the alertness to recognize that as we come to meet, we have a various level of bonding. So it's alert to, are we friends? Are we more than friends? Are we partners now? You know, what are we? And then the absolute love, as Moni was reading, the love of just being successful. The success comes with money, but it also comes with its own relationship banal success. There's a word for you, relationship banal.
I'll call I'll call Webster.
Yeah, whatever. The Urban Dictionary.
There you
So
go.
it's just it wants to be this success in its love that basically is able to carry forward, assuage any fears from the past, its fears of the past, and move forward into something that seems so foundational that it can't help but to have its alertness and its coming to meet become a safe, successful, materially improved place. It's for the tribe after all. It's in support of one another after all.
Yeah, it's I love you, so I want you to be healthy. I want you to thrive. I want you to move forward in the future. And if we're going to love each other, let's love each other successfully into the future. Here, take your vitamins. How's the money going on? Like what is the story? Are you sick? Need something? It's that kind of love.
Yeah. And that it becomes close and it is taken personally. And when you have that kind of dutifulness to your partner and yourself, that tends to make things be successful. So there's a duty here. It's tribal. There's a duty in the tribe. That's all there is to it. So let them fulfill their duty. Let them be there at the time. And when it doesn't have something to do with the success of the relationship as it relates to especially the money, and it has something to do with one of the other aspects we go through, don't expect this gate to love your spirit. Don't expect this gate to be the love of however it is there's joy or fantasy. It might not even fit into what they come to meet with. This is weighted very much towards the material success of things because we've
And
got to eat every day.
yeah, and I was gonna say, like, the 44 and the spleen, like, it's cool. It's
It's
cool,
cool.
it's colder. It's not a again, it's not a passionate, fiery. Like 26, its partner, 26 is fiery, it's hot-blooded, 44 is cold-blooded. And
Yeah,
so again,
literally.
yeah, it's like don't expect it to be again warm-blooded. Don't expect that of it. It cares about you and it wants you to successfully move forward into the future.
And don't you worry, there's plenty of other gates in the body graph you'll be making love to later this evening. Just understand this is one of them. This is one of them, but this won't be the ignition of that per se. This is the material and the success of two coming together to create something that can transmit a type of abundance that the abundance itself is the love, is part of the expression of it. I brought home that bacon. You know, this is looking towards that. This and gate 40 when we get to it.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts before we mosey?
No, what else should we add into this? What, should we talk a little bit about what what not to expect with this? Don't play. I think I did that a little bit, but don't place things that aren't on these gates on them. Don't
Mhm.
expect them to be something other than what they are.
Yeah,
He just
let's
thinks about our material way. He just wants to make sure that that our future is planned for and all. He's always trying to, it's like, he's no fun. Well, that sounds like he's got a gate 44. That sounds like part of his love language to
is
make
taking
the
care.
home safe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good gate of love to have.
Yeah. And if I'm not gating that, I am not gating you are too, Moni. In that moment, if I heard too much of that, I'll be like, you trying to tell me you don't love me the way that I am? Because my gate 10's going to have a problem with that. You know, you can't do that. Imagine going, I don't love you the way you are. Imagine that, saying that to someone.
Yeah, to
I'm
actually say it, like, we express that a lot.
a
We don't
lot.
necessarily say it, but we definitely
Mm.
express it, and that's even in our own desire to be understood as ourselves. We're always struggling to explain ourselves or have ourself be understood by the other, and so when we can, like, move beyond that and try to understand the other person more than we're trying to explain ourselves.
This gate would be the alertness to question that if it needed to be questioned. It's an
Mosey?
awareness center, so yeah. Yeah, let's mosey.
So, moving on to gate 40, earning love. This is an ego love. It's the gate of the stomach. It says, I'm doing all this for you, so you'd better love me. This is waiting for somebody to work for so they can earn love. This is a different kind of love. This is about appreciation, not gratitude. It's about appreciation. This is the gate of deliverance, delivering, providing, doing my job so I can take on the burden. How much the ego applies the will is directly related to the quality of love it receives. This is willpower driven by love.
Driven by the love of gate 37 on the other side that supports it with the smooth emotional wave that appreciates the gate 40 and appreciates what the gate 40 does. Gate 40 is likened to the mule or the donkey that pulls your stuff. And when you have the right mule or donkey, let them be the mule that does the work for you. Now you've got a bargain on the other side of that. There's totally a bargain. 44 doesn't quite have the full bargain going on like this does. The bargain on the other side is you do appreciate me because it's in that affection that the tribal warmth of the emotional wave feeds in a way, the gate 40, and it feeds its stomach, through what gate 37 does, making the warmth of the tribal dinner table always feed the belly of the ego. Like just even through food, it'll press its clothes, it'll turn down its bed because the ego is a mule for the next 8 hours or 6 hours. Let the mule be the mule. That is its love language. Don't let it guilt trip you because that's not love language anymore. And don't you feel guilt tripped because that's your fear of a love language that's naturally just saying, hey, I kept digging the holes. I dug all the holes today, honey. I'm so excited. And on the other side is, hey, I got dinner. I can't wait. Tell me about it a little, blah, blah, blah. And the affection is there. It comes with a touch. It comes with a hug and a kiss. It comes with certain passions, if you're married, obviously, that are real and they're supportive of one another. They show up. And it's in that support that almost is like a payment to gate 40. It does. It's muling for you because it wants to be loved.
Yeah, the 4037 is the home of the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Because the 37 is going to feed you, and the 40 is the guy who's busting rocks to take care of you and your kids.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep. And you look through this tribal stream, and we started with 44 and gate 40 for a reason. You can see it moving right through the tribe, and it almost just makes sense. It's a type of diligence that makes sense. It feels a little bit like an arranged marriage here. It's like, well, I'm doing all the work and you're doing the thing, and it's almost you could, as long as we keep doing that, the love will grow. But not so much in our modern world. What it really is let the mule be the mule for a few hours each day that it's doing that because it's got the ego will to do so. And it happens to be bringing in and delivering the supplies that are needed for the home and the table and all the stuff, just like gate 44 is being alert for it. 40 is doing the ego work for it.
Yeah. I feel like this is a really straightforward one. Like,
I do
will
too.
will work for food.
Right. For love and food.
Appreciation, love, and food.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Affection, appreciation, love and food.
There you go. Any other final thoughts before we mosey?
Mm-mm.
So now continuing on to gate 58, perfecting love. Gate 58 is the gate of the joyous. It's the deepest memory of the love humanity carries. An ancient love built on continuity of what it is to be human. Love, l- love that comes through the being that's corrected by others. The potential of the positive. There's no the potential of the positive. There's no reliable future without experimentation. The direction we can go in the future is going to there's no reliable future without the experimentation on the direction we can go in the future to keep us going, keep us safe, productive, and successful. The whole collective drive. This is the great love of experiment of being us, proving it's worthwhile to be us, proving we can get along with each other, and seeing that refinement is possible. This is, I love you, so I want to correct you so you have more vitality, so you can live more fully.
And in this gate all by itself, gate 58, the joyous, the gate of vitality, it shows us what we're really looking for. This is very stimulating here. Stimulation is the key to joy. And the stimulation is, what can we perfect here? What can we get more and more perfect here? It's seeking its type of perfection. And by the way, it doesn't need to get there, although it will think it does at plenty of times. What it needs to do is see that it's seeing it with its partner. Let's share this. This is a great gate of sharing. When we get over to the 41 on the other side, it's the same story, a little more experiential over there. Um, Here, it can be very experiential. It's the thing of, we're building it together. We're doing it together. Let's do this thing that we're doing. And while we're doing it, there is some experimentation, and you might be a little better off if you're a little more like this, if you're a little more like that. This is part of a channel of judgment that you can't quite take personally. In case it starts to render a little bit upon you, you have to correct it and say, hey, keep that pointed in the impersonal direction, because it's not always cool to correct people, frankly. Um, and this gate must need to know that, but it's not 58 that truly needs to know that. It's only when it's connected to gate 18. The rest of the time, this is the excited child that just unwrapped its Christmas present and realized the gift it always wanted, that it thought it wasn't going to get, is sitting right there in front of it. And the stimulation in that moment is intoxicatingly, practically unbearable. And the kid is almost peeing his pants, can't wait to get out onto the open highway of the parents' driveway and start riding its new toy.
That was super cute.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is. This is sheerly the shiny kid that like has his favorite lollipop and is riding his big wheel.
The joyous.
The joyous. There need be no reason for the joyous, at least except that it needs to be shared. Let me share my joyous with you. Oh, but what is it? I don't know. It's awful lot, blah, blah, blah. Well, if we're the right partnership, I'm gonna love that about my partner.
So super fun because gate 58 being the joyous, so then in the I Ching, it's actually lake over lake because the trigram of lake in the I Ching is about abundance. It's about
Mm.
joyousness and abundance. So gate 58 is like double joy, it's double abundance. And in the I Ching family, it's the youngest daughter. So it's a little girl that's just happy and joyful and playing and with little koi fish at a pond with lotus flowers and everything's just abundant and joyous.
Yeah, did Ra write a blurb on this thing? That because you read one for 25, I remember. I'm not sure if you're going to read any for any of these.
I can see if there's anything. I have all sorts of highlighting happening, but let me find
Um,
where I have it. Yeah, I pulled the most of like the solid information. I don't know if there's any like specific
all right.
quote. You could be a better lover, dear. Let me tell you how. You can be a better husband, wife. Let me tell you how. And let me tell you how all the time. And when I can tell you how to become a better partner all the time, I'm in love with you.
God, that's true. I'm glad you read that.
It
Didn't
literally just
think,
popped out at me.
yeah, I didn't think to say it that way in this segment, but that is also true. It's a little bit needly. It's noticing because
Hmm.
of its joy, it wants to find this perfectly repeatable pattern. It's looking for pattern recognition here. This is a home of pattern recognition for sure. It's the fuel for the logical circuitry. And this is turns into sort of logical love. And the thing is, when they're pointing that at you, you don't have to take it personally.
Mm.
You
Well, it's
just don't.
collective. It's very not personal.
Mm. But let me tell you how you can be a better lover is a very
I guess
personal
that is
statement.
very personal.
It's wicked personal. It's like, oh, thank you, dear. I love you too. Maybe not. You know what I mean?
It is in the best interest, though, where it's like, yes, it's personal and it would be like, oh, that could be crushing, but it is in the best interest of the person and the relationship because it's from this place of wanting to create more vitality and more joy and more spark of life and joie de vivre, like,
Also from a place of judgment that their judgment
yeah.
may not be the same as the other. It is a little bit of a mixed bag here, but on its face, it is the
And if
kid.
it's high expression, low expression,
Yeah,
not self, true
absolutely.
self, all
Yeah.
the variables.
At its highest expression, it's the excitement to be in the now, shared with another about the thing that feels stimulating. It can be very sexual here. It can be very stimulating of just, let's go to the ice cream shop.
Hmm.
The stimulation here is a logical place, though, is the thing. It's something you can name. It's something that's like, oh, we see where this might be headed because it's part of that collective logical circuitry that's going to fall into a rhythm that's going to have a little general marshaling it forward into something that becomes influential ultimately. That's the
Mhm.
story that gets told here.
Mhm. Mosey?
Mosey. That was a great quote from Ra. I hope there's one for the rest of the gates if you can find
It
one.
literally popped out at me when I looked at the book and I was like, I think I'm supposed to read this one. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Continue, continuing on to gate 41, dreams of love. It's about love and sex and the love of dreams. Gate 41 initiates the human experiential way where everything begins. Love is an experience. Love and sex are bound together. This is the great gate of the pressure to desire. I want to feel it. I want to experience it. Every time I made love to somebody, I assumed I was in love. That's what Ross said.
Hmm.
This stream leads to crisis, gate 36. That's so there's nothing but expectation. The collective is not personal, it's just having an experience. So this is a love that allows you to fantasize. When you fantasize, you create perfection.
Yeah, these two go. These love gates create types of oppositions that aren't official oppositions, but this 5841 clearly they act as opposition to each other. One is the joy to stimulate the movement of it that is a little bit cool on the spleen side. You know what I mean? And how might we do it better? And how might this get that way? And it's willing to talk about it and share a lot of words while it perfects that thing. On the other
And the
side, they're like perfection.
story.
Yeah, on the other side, there's perfection schmection. It's like I'm hungry for this thing. It's looking all the way up to gate 30. I cling to this feeling. I have a feeling. It is specifically desirous. Its format energy is about starting something. Starting what? It doesn't sort of matter. It
It's a
matters that it's
craving.
a craving, a hunger for an experience that is very sexual in nature. This would be the most sexual in nature version of our love language, which can contain all the other love languages, just so you know. And so this hot and horny gate of gate 41 has all kinds of crazy thoughts that it can have. Don't find your partner too crazy when they have a gate 41. It doesn't mean they're all going to have it. It means that it's healthy when they share them. Is there a good quote from Ra, I wonder? Um,
Yeah, yeah. So at the end it says the 58 and the 41 are mirrors. The 58 says, "I love you. You're imperfect. I'm going to correct you." And the 41 says, "I love you. You're imperfect. I'm going to fantasize about somebody else." Because
that's
raw.
funny.
I
Yeah.
know.
I'm going to fantasize about somebody else. They're going to fantasize also about what the versions of you are that they think they're in love with. You cannot take either of these two gates personally inside of your relationships. If you're the one carrying this gate, you cannot put your personal trip upon the other. It's just not fair to create something greater than mundaneness here. It's supposed to mean something more. Mm-mm. Nope, that's the anti-mundane, transcendent love. And that moreness isn't always for you, remember? So it's a little bit of bittersweet inside of these love gates as it relates to what Hollywood taught us we're supposed to have, and all of that, all the propaganda. It doesn't do these gates justice. 41 is simply a fuel for fantasy, and we need to have it. You can't let it make you think that there's now something wrong because no one is everyone's fantasy at all times the whole way through.
And it's just a craving. And it's just like we fantasize and daydream about all sorts of stuff, and you're gonna do like 0.001 percentage of the fantasy that you're thinking about in your head. You're not actually gonna like live the vast majority of those out.
Yeah, and the thing is it's not connected any further. If you have it in channels here, obviously it does connect further, but on its own, there's no gate 35. There's no reason to have an expectation here. It doesn't have to lead to the crisis if you just let it be yourself. It's here to be shared. If it leads to a little bit of crisis, hopefully it'll be a fun crisis. The crisis is simply the not knowing, by the way. It's not actual crisis because most of them don't turn out to be a crisis when you look back on it. It's like, oh, I guess it wasn't that bad. And it's like, yeah, no kidding. It almost never is.
So we also have a question.
Shoot.
So, yeah. So Jonathan says, so cheaters have gate 41. And so I replied, not necessarily. It could just be the fantasy. It could just be dreaming of something else. They could maybe also cheat, right? Not going to say it's not. And it could also be other people projecting fantasies on the person with the 41.
Yep. Yep. To answer your question quite plainly, very well could be. It very well could be because this fantasy is looking at whatever else could be out there. You know what I mean? But 58 could do the same thing if there's enough dissatisfaction with the lack of stimulation that it can't share. So it
Mm,
can happen for both of these. It
mm-hmm,
can also happen with 40. I did the work and you don't care. I'm done.
mm.
But this is more going to say it's done. It'll be obvious. When we get to the other gates, the two individual ones, you'll see how that can be as well. But these ones here, absolutely. It's about sharing. And so sometimes it's let me share my body with you. And that's the definition of the cheater, is what I think you're pointing out. So
I wonder if we could even look at like all these gates of love and even their partners that could all have some aspect of cheating or ending the relationship, right? Let's, broaden it out. Like you said, gate 40, I worked for you, you don't appreciate me enough, right? Or they have the gate 37 and they want the other person to work more for them and there's a mismatch, right? Gate 41, we just talked about the fantasy, and fantasizing about another and you're not satisfying me. Same thing with 58, you're not satisfying me in the pattern and they could go the other way. So I wonder if like all of these love gates and their partners have an aspect of that.
they would, but I have a feeling she was referring to when I see the glint in the eye of the cheater who's about to go have sex with that woman. Is this 41 business? It could I would say it would be more slanted towards a certain amount of 41 business if they got gate 41 in their body graph. You should look
Fair.
up the chart, you know. I mean,
And
it's
also,
hungry. It's hungry
yeah,
for that.
it craves that new experience. So possibly, but not always
Not
100%. So
exclusively, yeah.
don't be making too many accusations unless you're really sure.
Yep. Get the
And
proof.
yeah, any other thoughts on gate 41?
Oh.
Fantastic. Let us,
One,
right.
mundane. The mundane 41. I love the way I desire you or not. I mean, it's just a language. This is a great language for becoming truly conditioned into the flavor of the beast with two backs when they really come together, of this partnership as they come together. They can flavor I love to fantasize about you. I
Mm.
mean, everyone likes to hear that language, you know.
So long
That's
as you like the person.
so well, right. Well, that's hard to fake for two.
No, I just meant if you got it from like a creeper that's like, I like to fantasize about
Oh
you.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah, yeah,
ah, go
yeah.
away,
Okay,
go
yeah.
away.
Agreed, agreed. Yeah, it's like, damn, that's a little creepy.
And
Just
who are you?
and who are you again? Is this
Sir, this is a
Len?
Wendy's.
Right? Yeah, that's funny. This is a Wendy's. Yeah. Oops.
Any other final thoughts? I love when we get like well into the episode and we get a little extra slap happy. It's
Mm-hmm.
always a little extra silly. So, continuing on to gate 28, love and purpose. Gate 28 is individual, mutative, melancholic, creative potential, and it's very acoustic, right? It has to do with sounds. It begins with, there is no purpose, and then it finds that purpose. It has a deep romantic quality. This is a love that struggles for purpose. If there is no struggle, there is no love. The only way to be free of fear is through purpose. There's no fulfillment of purpose without the struggle of love. This is the gate of risk taking. It can be very dangerous. If you know some 28s in your life, like they got some crazy stories. This is the opportunity to find purpose in love, and the struggle is what makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, that whole struggle aspect is referring to obviously when it connects to gate 2038 right below it. 2838 make the channel of struggle, design of stubbornness. This is stubborn. I love you. Why? Just I love you. This is working. I get purpose. I get meaning out of life when I'm here. And they can literally allow you to know that. And then suddenly, you recognize this is part of their love language. The purpose I get out of life I can empower you with is what this language wants to say to the other. 28 wants to empower the other with the purpose it finds, with a purpose that helps make meaning. And the reason the gate of the risk taker is being mentioned here is because it will take risks in love. And we know some risks are dangerous, clearly, but it will absolutely take risks. We'll have more purpose if we have another baby. That's pretty important,
Yeah.
and a lot of things like that. And sometimes it can take you on a wild goose chase, like 55, when we get over to that next. Both of these gates can take you on a bit of a wild goose chase. We need to, change our environment. Let's move to another town. Let's something because it's looking for purpose when it's not there. And
Mm,
that's why if you feel purposelessness in your life, you're going to start taking risks here and there without even really realizing it in order to shake loose some dang meaning for your life or what the heck's it all for. I mean, think about the head center. The head center's sole job is to purpose the question of us translating our own existence through asking questions. So, this is a natural question. What's it all for? And gate 28 is there to keep the head center pressured, even though they're not connected. But the head center's pressure is filled with the spirit of 55, which we'll get to, and definitely the spirit inside of this purpose meaning making. And let's make it deep and rich meaning. And let's have a tapestry of meaning to all of this. And let's enshrine it. Can I carve it into stone? Stone idols are made here and in 55. Yeah, 40 made the stone idols, don't get me wrong, but the purpose and the meaning and the spirit of these things are born out of this unique individual nature. Let this freak tell you what is going on with them. 28 is a stubborn, deaf freak sometimes, but it's not that deaf because it has to listen in order to find out if the purpose is pinging back upon it. It must.
yeah.
Not,
So
not
for
exclusively deaf. I say those things. It's just that they're struggling.
Well, well, yeah, because I mean, because gate 38, it's one of like the deaf gates. It can't hear things because it's like receiving that individual pressure. Because it's like 38, was it 38, 39,
Mhm.
and was it 43?
43.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like they're all the pressure receiving on the individual. So it's like they can't hear outside of themselves. So that's why they're called the deaf gates. So with the 28 being on the receiving end of the 38, it's like it's an acoustic thing, but it also might not hear the thing. So I understand what you mean. Also,
It's not hearing as it doesn't want to hear. It doesn't fit the purpose in that moment. That's the
ooh,
stubbornness part.
oh, that was a good clarification. Thank you. And then Ra also says, "This is Romeo and Juliet. There is no purpose. I don't find any purpose. If I can't have you, there is no purpose."
Mm. Didn't they both end it all, sort of?
Yeah, it got a little messy there in the end.
Got a little messy in the end. The danger and the fight for purpose. The fighter is here. It's in gate 38 below it, but I'm just saying it's in this energy zone.
Hmm.
828 is perfectly willing to pull out the fighter and fight for the purpose it struggles for.
It's
If
it's
you have
knowing what is worth fighting for. The 38 is the fighter, and the 28 is like what is worth fighting for. What is the purpose of fighting? Like
totally,
the 2838 is like the I have a dream channel. It has
hmm
a great purpose that it wants to fight for. It's that combination.
if you have this gate in your life and you're a partner and you see it in them, just recognize they struggle to make the purpose work in your relationship. They're fighting for you. Let them fight for you. If you take advantage of that, it will disempower them. There will be a problem. The risk taker and the game player will march themselves stubbornly right out of your life. Just be aware of that. This is there to focus in uniquely and quite personally upon you, even though it's individual and it's not personal in a way. It starts out with their purpose. So it's personal to them. But if they can share it with you and you can get on board with that even a little bit, then it is for you. And that person will fight for you forever if you allow it. And if you empower it and provoke it and all of that good stuff and love it back. But it's so stubborn. It's such a, yeah, I know. Lucky you.
Mosey?
There was already a Rock quote in this. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Romeo and Juliet one.
Romeo and Juliet, yeah.
Yeah.
Mosey.
Finally, this is our last gate of love. This is gate 55, eternally indecisive love. So, this is part of the emotional system where nothing is stable, right? It's always on a wave and it's under mutative pressure, gate 55. It's because there's a new awareness emerging that's not dominated by the emotional wave. It's awareness rooted in the vast neural intelligence of the solar plexus system. This is the moodiest gate that never knows anything for sure. This is an extraordinary emotional spirit that's deeply creative and it resonates to music. This is the magic of unknowing love, which is the deepest mystical quality.
It comes to know over time. It does. The thing is that it can't know in the beginning, and it needs to be provoked. This is the gate that is deeply indecisive, like the name says. It's moody, very much moody. It's got this emotive quality to it, and it needs to be provoked because the right provocation brings out its spirit. When I say brings out its spirit, I mean truly brings out its spirit. This is the emotional gate of love. There's only one. I'd like you to notice there are three gates that are in an awareness center, and it's weighted towards the spleen. This is the emotional gate of love. Um, this is the thing that empowers to hear the music and the sound of the other, to finally empower being a social being. But first, it must pass through the gate of spirit, this gate of abundance. And since its job is to move back and forth between my spirit feels high and my spirit feels low, so it can know what high spirit is, in sharing that with the other, it can seem moody and fickle and melancholic, and it can seem a little bit like a downer. Why do you thwart me so? One could say to the 55. Why do you not let me the rest of the way in? Why do I not feel like I'm let in yet? And that's because they're still indecisive until a moment comes where you have provoked them just right. And guess how you know that they've let you in? Because you're here this year and you guys are together next year. That's how you know they let you in. You can't know like a hard and fast deadline. On this date, I finally knew. It'll show up as like their spirit now must be provoked by you. You are now the provocateur of what is going to awaken in them. And when this goes emotionally high, it's intoxicating. Like I said, it's the only emotional awareness in this love series. The other,
Mm.
yeah, of the three awareness gates, only one's emotional. The other two are splenic. They're in the spleen. So this is the representation of the love that is the poetry that sings the song that makes the world go round, that is, you know, Daniel, my brother, or whatever, that is like so deeply personal. Please let me be personal with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Ra talks about like in the Middle Ages and the troubadours, right? Is unrequited love, like chivalry and chivalrous love. If you think of like King Arthur and Lady Guinevere, the whole thing about like chivalry and chivalrous love and all of that kind of stuff is that it was unrequited. It was the knight was yearning to be with the fair lady and to fight for her and to do all these things, but they weren't actually supposed to like consummate it. That's part of why like Guinevere and
Mm,
King Arthur getting together like threw everything off. Or no, because Guinevere and Arthur were together, and then Lancelot was like in love with Guinevere, and they're not supposed to actually consummate. So this is
right.
like unrequited love, and the troubadours singing and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the spirit inside of Gate 55, but it does not want to remain an unrequited love scenario. It really doesn't. It wants
Hmm.
the right man or woman to come along and provoke their spirits so that they can fall in love. And the beauty of this gate is, guess what? If you allow this person to be in your life, this Gate 55, they will continue to fall in love with you over and over again. And that's how you know. That's what this gate does. The purpose may find the purpose again and again, and that feels good. But this is the one that sensitively, emotionally will light you up with the motor that is abundance. And they will fall in love with you next year and 3 months later, again in different ways. And they'll find ways to tell you, and then they'll go back down on their wave, and you will have to provoke them again. It never ends. They will tease, you will tease back. There will be moments of like I can see people getting a little pissed. It's like, why is it always a game? Why do I have to it's like it's not a game, it's a process. Your dog circles its bowl before it actually starts eating sometimes because it's got to get those juices going. It's sort of the same thing here. Just circle.
All the ducks got to be put in a row.
Yeah, and it's got to feel abundant and just right, or the spirit goes low. This
That
is the
is
spirit
true.
moving up and down, high and low for no particular reason. You just have to be there with it and realize it's coming back to fall in love with you all over again.
I feel
More
called out.
clear, yeah, more clear than the last time. Yeah.
I also
That's
have
right.
a
You're 55.
I do. It's like my unconscious moon. Um, so I also have a raw quote from
Oh, I
our
can't wait.
love book. That's where I'm pulling all this information for anyone who is interested. So it says the 55th gate is the moodiest. The 55th gate is the moodiest. And you see, the 55th gate never ever knows anything for sure. Do you love me? I don't know. Do you hate me? I don't know. Come on, you must know. No, I don't know. They don't know. They cannot know. And because they don't know and they cannot know, they're really sick people. Every eating disease you can imagine is in the 55th gate, every extreme of it, from anorexia to bulimia, every emotional breakdown that you can imagine is in the 55th gate. And it's all because of the pressure of life on that gate.
Mm, what a great, yeah. And the thing is, they don't really know. But, that's
We
Ross
don't, it's
speaking.
hard.
It is hard to say. At the end of the day, though, this still does become an emotional awareness that reaches its relative degrees of clarity.
Yeah. It's just in
But
the initial.
if
It's in the initial,
55,
we don't know.
right, it's in the beginning of the question. So, yeah, 2 years from now, you can still ask the same question. If you ask it again, they're gonna still not know necessarily. It's because it's coming up against something so unique. It's worth pointing out that as an emotional center gate, that when this thing does finally feel empowered, it will not only become clear, but if year over year you guys keep going through that cycle, you'll find there's nothing else for this gate 55 to love. If it's accepted you as its provocateur and the holder of it, you can't miss it because its spirit will go high. If you're dating at 55 and you are at 55 and your spirit never seems to go high through the provocations and the matings and the talking tos, very verbal here. You better talk an awful lot here when you're talking 55 or even or 28, but 55 for sure. It needs to hear the right romance language. It's about passion and romance. And if you don't have that right language, if 55 does not come alive, it's not right for you guys.
Mm.
But it doesn't mean you can't be friends or whatever, something else. It's just don't try to necessarily beat that dead horse. This love language is very succinct in that way. It'll tell you if there's nothing there. The spirit will never go up. You'll never get a sense for it. This is probably one of the loudest ways in which, oh, I don't think she's into me. You know, they
Mm.
find out after a week of trying to date or whatever. No, I just couldn't. I don't know. I don't think we're into each other.
Just not working.
Just now, this is 55 business all day long because it is so moody and fickle, and you got to come at it just right. And it's got to be part of something that feels just right. And then its spirit soars. So you'll know. If you approach 10 different people with 55, one of them will be the right spirit for you. So maybe go knocking on doors to find out. And don't ever date anyone you can't get their chart, their birth information in their chart. Just don't do it.
Oh my God, I don't think I could. I'd have to go snooping. I'm like, I don't know, I'll figure out your birthday.
You,
I don't think I could
yeah,
be with somebody if I couldn't like look at their chart and play with it. Like whoever I'd be with would have to be into me dissecting their chart because for me, human design is my love language.
it is very much part of our love language, Moni. I mean, we are vessels and we know too much, and it is universal information for everyone. So, part of how I tell someone I love them is let me show you your design.
Let me interact with you as you. Let me talk to you in ways that make sense for you to tune into your strategy and authority. Like that is my deepest love language.
Absolutely.
Onward.
Onward and upward.
Onward and upward. So now we're going to move to forms of connectivity. So we did a big exploration of this last week. So check that out after these videos if you want to dive deeper, but we're going to go through it again. So forms of connectivity. This is the magic of seeing your own design, the magic of seeing your energetic interaction with others. So this is what we're talking about is when we see like a composite chart. So when you put your chart with someone else's chart, you put them together and then you can see how your gates and channels interact. So that's what we're going to be exploring here. Once I can find my cursor.
Perfect.
Yeah. So starting off with companion, this is when you have the same gate or channel defined as the other person. There's a commonality that carries the greatest potential for friendship. This is samesies. This is we have the same stuff and we can understand each other.
Companionship is just a beautiful place. You got to see it. And it's also this spot where people can feel like they got a little bored with one another. Don't allow it. Samesies is what lasts for eternity, frankly.
Yeah, this is like deep friendship. This is the old couple that's holding hands and they're like 90 years old and they
Hmm.
finish each other's sentences and it's super, super cute.
Yeah, that's samesies. So when you have samesies in your chart, just recognize this is a spot where you guys are companionship to each other. It's a deep understanding of the other here.
Yeah, this is like a I married my best friend kind of
Mm,
vibe.
totally.
Cool. Mosey?
Mosey. We're just giving little nuggets of what this is about. We don't go into have to go into 20 minutes of dissertation about it.
Yeah,
So
we did this last week, so the live stream is available, and then the individual videos we're going to be posting within the next week or so where I cut them down. So check that out once it posts. So next up, we have dominance. This is when one partner's entire channel is defined, but the other person is completely undefined. This is recognizing that there's something in your partner that is always consistent, that is completely separate from you. So one person has the whole channel, the other person has none of it.
no gates in the channel, and then that becomes a spot where you see your partner. You see them, they're different from you, and it becomes something that doesn't bother you because you've got no skin in the game. To have skin in the game means to have a gate in the channel, or to have a gate in the electromagnetic, or to have two channels together. So you get to totally understand someone's a 4323 and another person is a 3420. They one knows that the manifesting generator 3420, oh, they're just busy. That's just how they are. And the MG comes to know, oh, my partner, the 4323. Yep. They got to explain it. That's just let them talk it out. That's just how they are. They
Yeah,
always
this
seem
is
to know.
yeah, it's all or nothing.
Right. And you don't mind the all of the other and the nothing of you.
Yeah, because it's just, oh, that's how they are. And there's almost, there can be an appreciation and an admiration of
Total.
like, wow, look at him go. Look at how busy that manifesting generator is. Look at him go.
And they can support that because it doesn't take anything away from them. It doesn't appear to take anything away from them, and they don't appear to have electromagnetic with it, like they have to interact with it. So they just like look at that. I love that they do that. Channel of struggle. Oh, my girlfriend's got the channel of struggle, dude. She's gonna work for that purpose. Just let her do it. You know. But dude, you go to that's not my gig. It's their dominance. Let them have that. I've come to love them the way they are with that. So you get to see that.
Cool. Mosey.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing on to electromagnetic. This is half and half. You have one half of the channel, the other person has the other half of the channel. And this is where we find love and hate, attraction and repulsion.
Yeah, and don't let the repulsion make you think that it's full on repulsion. Although the attraction can feel like full on attraction, it really is. We are attracted to these electromagnetics first. I see it all the time. When you look at a chart, you see those electromagnetics that show up. It's we always mention it. Oh boy, look, they got 7 different electromagnetics. Look at this.
Wow.
Yep. And it seems like a wow, but the thing is, it's no more wow than a dominance or a companionship in a way. It just feels it
Yeah, it's
because
just another dynamic.
to connect those two things feels hot and spicy. It feels like it can move somewhere, like something else can get done. You've just been completed. They complete me is here in this electromagnetic.
Mm.
I found my soulmate are the words that come out of these electromagnetics. Your soulmate? You don't know. How do you know? Not even 6 months have gone by. Talk to me in 5 years. Basically, these electromagnetics need time to shake themselves out of that honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
They really do. It's just a fact of life. And so some of them remain the whole time, and that's how you know it's healthy. And some of them waffle and they turn into little angry things because they create expectations that the other will always be the same like this and do this thing with them. However, that electromagnetic is designed to work, which depends on the gates and the lines and all of that.
Fantastic, Mosey.
Hmm.
And finally, we have our compromise channel. One person defines the entire channel, the other person only defines a single gate within that channel. So they're always compromising to the partner with the entire channel. So one person's got the whole thing, the other person has half.
Yeah, when you have that gate, you've got a whatever, a gate 22, and someone has the whole channel of openness.
1222.
The 1222, and you only have, let's say, the 22 in that, the stuff that you're going to be emotional towards and that you're going to sort of see as what you're going to be um, allowing your grace towards has to compromise towards the movement and the manifestation of the person with the whole channel. There's a giant compromise of what feels like I'm compromising myself to the other. They always get their way with this, and it really pisses me off. And that's just, how come I can never? Every time you hear yourself, how come I can never? I want you looking very closely to find out if you have a gate and someone else has a channel that shrouds that gate and that sort of overlays it because feels like a compromise. And be aware, in the very beginning, part of the compromise is because it felt like an electromagnetic in the very beginning. You sort of can't tell because you both have
Yeah.
that same, both of you have a gate in common.
Yeah. So when you only have the one gate, when you see your partner who has the entire channel, you don't actually see their entire channel. You just see the half that you're missing.
Yep. Yep. And it feels a little bit like electromagnetic, and it takes a little while before it starts to become the compromise. That's part of what makes the compromise a little more weighty because it's like this used to be so good and now it's not. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then it got weird. Why does it get
It got
weird?
weird. What's happening?
Why can't I do the thing? Why can you do the thing? I could do some of it, but I can't do all of it. Or even the person who has the entire channel, it's like, why can't you do what I can do? Because they could do
Right.
part of it. Why can't you do the whole thing? So it can be this like tensiony point.
It is a compromise. You must compromise to the partner that has the whole channel. There's not much you can do about that. What you end up doing is finding your own way outside of that partner on certain things. It doesn't mean you have to leave the relationship. It just means sometimes you'll find it with other friends, whatever the thing is that you can never seem to get through to your partner. You have a 23 and they have the whole 2343, and you wonder why you can't explain much to them, but they find their way to explain stuff to you, you know. Um, because they have the whole thing and your explanations are now being compromised to them. And understand, it's not their fault. You just recognize, oh, I'm just going to surrender. When I really do need to explain it, I'll say it. It'll come out. It'll feel a little bit, might even feel a little bit conflictual. Oh, well, at least I'll get my thing out. And I'm not going to base that I love this person or not based on this thing. It's too shallow. It's not enough for me to do away with the spirit that loves me, to do away with the finding of the purpose, to do away with the right work that works for the love, to do away with these other aspects that we've already rattled off. It's not enough. I just realize that. If it does feel like enough and the compromise is too much, you'll see this is where relationships break up. Because I am right here in compromise. This is where I'm calling my lawyer comes from.
Oh,
It's a final straw of two or three compromises between the two charts, and this the final straw ends in I'm calling my lawyer.
woof.
Whoop, it wasn't needed. Also, you didn't really care as much as you think. You'll find.
Mm-hmm. Mosey.
Mm.
So, in conclusion, we have a quote from Ra Uru Hu, the founder, creator, developer of the human design system. The moment you can see love for what it is, you can really be with somebody. You're not being with somebody who's a potential that you're going to work on, that maybe this will get better or that will change and so on. You can really be with somebody because the love is correct. It's like everything else about design. Design is here to strip away the generalizations that torture us, that we somehow have to be exactly the way Hollywood does it or whatever. Each of us is unique in our capacity for love, and we all have it. The moment you're living out your nature, you get to experience your capacity of love. That's something very special.
Very special indeed. And what Ra's really pointing out is just like we accept our centers, just like we've learned, hey, don't ever hold someone's design against them. Well, we can find an easy enough way to do that with, the vessel can hear that language and be like, "Oh, yeah, I shouldn't hold your design against you. Sorry about that." But then again, that's not because it's all hot and love with you. It's just a recognition of universal principles. And the mundane gates, same thing. You can't hold someone's design against them. If that's how they're made and you like this person, generally speaking, recognize if you're waking up with the same person every day, that's half the battle of what this love really leads to and what this love is. Quit looking at what you don't have and start looking at what you do is the thing. You don't need any of these gates to be in love with somebody. This love activity is in the world. It'll show up for you too. You'll be open to it. So quit being a hater. I mean, basically, that's the final advice. Don't be a hater.
So that was our exploration of the love gates in human design, and that was super fun. And I think it was great that it's two vessels of love that played around with this and got to actually dive into all these gates that I've always only did little dabbles in, and to really understand how what it is that we experience as love as humans and how we can understand that within our design and understanding our partners better. And I don't know, it's just so cool.
Just remember, everyone, the mundane gates are there to bring certain amounts of heat and fire and passions and sharings and support and love and even mysticism into our mundane life, the life that we hold hands with in our partner. You're holding its hand or her hand. That is the mundane part of this, mostly. And then the aspects that are anti-mundane, that rise above all of that, these are literally here to love you to death. It's just that it's not all that personal and you can't always tell. Let the longevity of a relationship, let the capacity to just talk about things and accept things for what they are. Whatever capacity you have of that in your nature, that's the stuff that will see your relationship through over time. And if you want to just fight it, then go ahead and break up. Not self world's filled with that. So
Yeah. Understand your design, understand your partner's design. Try, to help each other live according to each other's strategy and authority. And yeah, like look at your love gates, see what you have, see what your partner has, see how they interact, see how we may be placing expectations upon the other. And let's see if those are correct expectations or maybe we need to like renegotiate.
just talk about it, bring it back out. Yep. Again, this is how we get to see that we don't need to be a hater, that we think we do. And 9 times out of 10, even the compromises, you really only think you don't like it. Your true self sort of brushes by it, unless you don't love that person.
And then also, like, sometimes you have to be, put on your big boy pants and have the conversation. And sometimes you need to pull that band-aid and it can be hard, especially when you get along with the person. It's easy when someone's a jerk to be like, screw you, you're a jerk, and break up. Like, there's a sense that it's almost easier when they are a jerk, but sometimes you can love each other enough to know that it's time to separate with love and do it amicably. Like, that's okay too. And it's not love if you're both just stringing each other along, but the vitality is sapped. And maybe you were just supposed to bring each other to new places and then go in separate ways. That's okay
That,
too.
that vitality is something that people do notice quite quickly. But anyway, I feel pretty good here, Moni.
I feel really good too. So, next week we will be concluding our Godhead series. We've done it, or we're going to be done doing it. Next week, we are going to explore Archangel Michael and then Janus as our last two Godheads. And they each represent the I Ching trigram of thunder. Because basically, the idea is within the I Ching is that in the winter, the thunder goes underground, like in the fall and the winter, it goes underground and then just before spring, it sprouts up to bring
Mm,
forth, spring
love
and new
it.
life, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So we will be able to conclude that series, which is super exciting because we've been doing it the entire year. So I'm pretty stoked. So yeah, and then we're going to be going into some neat stuff. I'm going to be playing with the schedule, but I have a really cool presentation and process on the observer effect in human design and how those interact. I'm pretty stoked. So maybe we'll do that, in 2 weeks after we do the Godhead. So we'll see how it goes. And also, if you were interested in booking a human design reading with either Danny or myself, we have a QR code above, or we have the link down in the description box below. You can use code AWAKEN to save 10%. You can schedule with us. You can learn a whole lot about yourself, your friends, your loved one, whatever you're into. We'd love to get to know you better. And if you've been getting a lot out of our videos, you've been learning a whole lot about human design, you'd like to help support us and encourage us, we have a donation link above. We also have that down in the description box below. And thank you so very much. And as always, thank you for liking and subscribing. It does help us out. I still feel like we're a wee itty bitty baby channel, so the subscriptions and the likes really actually do make a difference. Thank you for commenting and asking us questions. We love receiving them, we love responding to them. So thanks for being a part of this with us. Thank you, Danny. And we will catch you next week for some more human design deep dive.
Yay. Till then, much love, everyone.
Bye.